If you have the slightest bit of self-control, you can actually manipulate carbohydrates to work in your favor, specifically high glycemic carbohydrates that are generally demonized like crazy. It all comes down to knowing how to time them, but also knowing what the gentle bell curve versus the steep cavern and the steep mountain of specific blood sugar responses looks like. I'll break it down and make it simple. Hey, make sure you hit that red subscribe button, and then please do hit that bell icon down below to turn on notifications. Then after this video, check out Thrive Market. They're an online grocery store delivered right to your doorstep. Super, super cool company with all kinds of different food products, ranging from paleo, vegan, keto, whatever, you name it. They've got everything you need delivered right to your doorstep, and for the most part, they're less expensive than many grocery stores. So they are super awesome. There's a special link down below in the description for my subscribers and for my viewers because they're a big supporter of this channel. So make sure after this video, you check them out. Okay, I'm gonna keep this short and sweet because I know your time is valuable. So let's get right into it. When you consume a carbohydrate, it's widely known that, yeah, it raises your blood sugar. That's the idea of consuming a carbohydrate. Raises your blood sugar so that that blood sugar can go into a cell and ultimately create energy, create acetyl coenzyme A, create ATP, give us energy to do the things we love. Okay, well, it doesn't always spike the same way. Okay, if we consume something that's high glycemic, let's just say, for example, something like white rice, something that if you talk to many health people will tell you that it's kind of demonized because it's high glycemic. Well, what happens when you eat something that's high glycemic is your blood sugar spikes and then it drops. Well, most health people out there will tell you that that drop in blood sugar is going to cause a big problem. That drop in blood sugar makes you hungry. It triggers hunger hormones. It triggers all kinds of things. But if you take a step back, you have to remember that those hunger hormones are actually the same hormones that allow you to activate fat-burning enzymes. Without those hunger hormones, we cannot really activate fat-burning enzymes. We can't ever start utilizing fat for fuel. Does that mean that you need a little bit of self-control? It does, but if you understand, you have the tools in your toolbox and you have the mental repository, then yeah, you can figure it out. So it looks like this. If I were to consume something that's low glycemic, let's just say some chickpeas, for instance, because there's a lot of data on chickpea. There's one particular chickpea study, but I'm gonna spare you the details now. If I were to eat a bunch of chickpeas, it doesn't raise my blood sugar very high, but it raises it in a low, gentle bell curve, okay? So instead of a big spike, it's a gentle bell curve. And again, most healthy gurus out there will tell you, that's great. Look at that nice, stable level of blood sugar. But think about this for a minute. If I eat breakfast and I have low glycemic carbohydrates, I have a nice, gentle bell curve. Then I eat lunch a few hours later, and I have another bell curve. And then I eat dinner, and I have another bell curve. Well, now I have bell curve that piles on top of another bell curve that tops on top of another bell curve. So I've got 3 big bell curves that are like steps going up, leaving me with higher insulin levels at the end of the day than if I were to just eat high glycemic carbs and call it a day. Now compare that to this. I eat something high glycemic, big spike in blood sugar and insulin, and then a drop. Then I pause at the bottom. Then I eat lunch, big spike, big drop, and a pause until dinner. Big spike, big drop. Equal calories, equal carbohydrate content, just the difference in low glycemic versus high glycemic. Okay, here's the difference. The high glycemic carbohydrates are going to allow me to drop into relatively low blood sugar, but just moderate blood sugar, where I get a chance to activate what is called glucagon. Glucagon is a hormone that is the opposite of insulin. And without insulin being low, glucagon can't get released. So if we're constantly keeping insulin levels stable, but relatively high, i.e. low glycemic diet, glucagon never gets a chance to actually release. So low glycemic diets are tremendous for people that just need to keep their blood sugar levels stable so that they don't munch and that they don't snack. That makes perfect sense and they work very well. Okay, there's multiple ways to go through this. I like my low glycemic carbs too. But if you have control and you're really trying to just get as lean as possible and manipulate carbs and manipulate your body a little bit, then you can know that, okay, I'm going to have these high glycemic carbs. After I eat them, I might feel hungry. I probably will. But if you can just flip this switch, this kinesthetic awareness, that when you feel that hunger after that high glycemic carb, you know that that hunger is initiating fat loss, you just own the world. If you can control that and you know, okay, I had my high glycemic carb, now I'm dropping down, I'm gonna be hungry. You know that hunger is the ghrelin, and it's also signaling, of course, hormone-sensitive lipase via glucagon, which is ultimately mobilizing fat to be used for fuel. We want those little periods. The rule is, number one rule with this, you cannot snack in between those meals or it disrupts that process. The whole idea is insulin spike and then drop, insulin spike, then drop. As soon as you have so much as a peanut, you're gonna blip and you're gonna have an insulin spike. Okay, so those are your choices. Low glycemic, gentle bell curves that ultimately raise your blood sugar by the end of the day, or control with high glycemic carbs and deep valleys that allow you to burn fat. Pick your poison. Anyhow, as always, keep it locked in here on my channel. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and check out Thrive down below. See you tomorrow.